Hey, what's up guys, it's Marv and welcome back to another Asphalt 9 video. Today we are doing another episode of Old But Gold where we take a look at some of the oldest cars in Asphalt 9 and see how they hold up in modern multiplayer after upgrading them to its maximum potential. Today we are going to take a look at the VENCER Sarthhe, previously one of the best C-Class cars in the game. But ever since this car came out, there have been a ton of really good C-Class cars released into the game, and now I believe this car is extremely overlooked, and I was not expecting this car to perform as well as it did in this video. Now in this video, you will see me go all the way to Platinum League using this car. Yes, I reached well past rank 1450 to get into Platinum League, and it was a pretty fun experience. Now, I do have to say, either other drivers I was going up against are really bad, or I was really good in this car. I'm not quite sure. Let me know in the comments what you think, but I was extremely surprised by how well this car performed, not only, of course, in Silver League, but also in Gold League, especially towards the top of Gold League, where you started to see some of those A-Class cars trickling into your races. So as with all of these videos, let's take a look at these stats, because there's usually one specific thing that stands out about these older cars that makes them very competitive nowadays. And for the VENCER Sarthe's case, that is the top speed. It is one of the best in Class C, and with mine at Golden Max, I can go 227 miles an hour. Now, my Aranera is not at Golden Max, but its top speed is 228. So that gives you an idea of how close it is to the top speed king of Class C. Now, the other stats you might think are probably just decent. However, the handling is actually significantly better on paper compared to the Aranera, and in my opinion, it does feel a bit more agile than that car, which was really interesting, and I reminded myself of that fact when I started playing with this car for this video. Now, the two downsides to this car are, of course, the acceleration and the nitro. In my opinion, the nitro is somewhat manageable. Again, this is going to be something where if you know where to do airspeed tricks, you know how to do floaty drifting, and you have really good nitro conservation, you can get around having a low nitro efficiency car. It's hard, it does take practice, but luckily nitro efficiency is something that can definitely be made up with using skill. Handling, on the other hand, is more difficult and tricky to get a hang of, but like I said, this car's handling is pretty decent, and like I said, it's better than the Aranera's. Unfortunately, for acceleration, there really isn't much you can do to make up for the acceleration of only 74. It's not the worst car you'll see in the game, but it certainly isn't that great when especially you're racing against B or A class cars who have acceleration stats well into the 80s. Now, the other thing I want to mention is that obviously what you're seeing is classic season where there is no slipstream, but because this car's top speed is its main selling point, I can imagine that this car is actually much better in Ghost Slipstream mode, especially because it does go well above the top speeds of a lot of B-class cars. So that would actually be a very good idea to test as well, but I was still very surprised at how well it performed in Classic. So yeah, in this video, you'll see the race where I get to Platinum League using only this car. I didn't use this car at the beginning, then use another car, and then finally use this car to just touch over the rank of 1450. No, I used this right from unranked all the way up to Platinum League. Now, once I did get into Platinum League, it sort of fell apart, but that was understandable. I really couldn't expect more from this car. It did exceed expectations anyway, but I would not recommend using this car in Platinum League. But anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself. How does it do in Silver League? Well, obviously it does very, very well. I was facing a bunch of other cars, specifically the Acura NSX, which I wasn't expecting to see a lot since that car is very old. Maybe I'll do another video about that car as well. But this car does do really well against the NSX just because of its top speed. The Aranera is a really good competitor to this car. It does keep up pretty well, and you have that better handling as its advantage compared to the Aranera. So that's something to keep in mind, is you can definitely use this if you're only facing Araneras. I wouldn't be scared to take it out. And like I said, I went to Platinum League, so that meant I went all the way through Gold League using just this car, and I was facing a lot of Huracans, and this car did really well because its top speed is at least a few miles an hour above the Huracan's. So on twistier tracks, you will definitely have a tougher time, and you will probably lose a lot of races if all you get is Osaka or Caribbean and you're facing Huracans. However, when you get a track like the Himalayas, you can really blow past those cars if you keep your top speed managed, because like I said, it is higher than a lot of B-class cars that are really popular. I also saw a lot of Corvettes, and again, the top speed in this car is at least 10 miles an hour faster than the Corvette, and so if you can manage your nitro and go around corners without losing too much speed, you can do really well against the majority of B-class cars you'll come across. So overall, as I've said throughout this video, I am really impressed with how the VENCER SARTHE holds up in Asphalt 9 in modern multiplayer. If you have the chance to unlock this car and star it up, I highly recommend you do so. I wouldn't worry too much about it if you only can get it at 1 or 2 stars. It probably doesn't perform very well, but of course, if you have it at Golden Max like I do, it can do really well in Silver League, Gold League, and it can get you into Platinum League. So of course, with this series, let me know your suggestions in the comment section down below for another old car I should take a look at for the next episode of Old But Gold. Thank you very much for watching, and I will see you guys later.